How are you today?
Hello, how are you?
Perfect. And you?
I'm very well. Who am I speaking with today, please?
Why you don't recognize me?
I do recognize you, Ethan. How are you?
Perfect.
It is good to have you back.
I never left.
That is correct. Do you have a message for us for today?
The understanding and the idea that you have just transitioned through was a large doorway. As you have seen through your North American continent, your Northern Hemisphere, the idea of the upgrade and the evolution of your energetic components as a species, as a planet. The celestial event that you have just transitioned through is a representation of a doorway that you, as a people, have gone through. You have given yourself a mass show, as it were, to show you that you are transitioning to higher frequencies. You are seeing the outward manifestation of those internal processes as a collective to know that you, as a people, have integrated and moved to higher frequencies, and you will continue to evolve no matter what, because there is nowhere else to be other than here and now.
Thank you. Could you please tell us which celestial event you're referring to?
Your solar storm, the idea of the aurora borealis that you have been experiencing for a few days prior to this.
Yes. Does it matter if one is seeing the storm with their eye or just knowing it's there for the effect to take place?
It doesn't matter. Whatever form it comes in, whatever way you experience it, the idea of you had the idea of your recent solar eclipse, correct?
Yes.
The idea that you were working through shadow experiences, shadow ideas, shadow energy in your collective, correct?
Yes.
You didn't necessarily need to see it in order to experience the effects of the eclipse.
Yes.
Those beings that do not necessarily see the energy or see the event itself still do experience the idea of the actual energy that comes along with that particular celestial event.
Thank you. Is this why I've been feeling so tired, lethargic the last few days?
Yes. When you're going through the idea of integration, those energies that are not compatible with who you are as a person, you will feel dragged down by the energies that remain in your systems until you have worked them out.
Thank you. Any suggestions on how to complete the process properly, successfully?
Allow yourself to eat very natural food, very clean food, as it were. Allow yourself to fully be present. Take time to meditate. Take time to allow the energies to work themselves out. Because remember, there is process. Anytime you are in physical reality, such as you are right now, and the channel is right now, you are going through the idea of process. So it does take time.
Thank you.
And you, as a people, are going through a very large mass event currently.
Yes, we are. And quite a few of my friends noticed that they were not feeling their best or tired this past few days.
Yes, you are going through the idea of an upgrade. Anytime you are going through the idea of an upgrade, things are not quite worked out as you do it, but as you reach the end of it and everything integrates and shows up how it needs to, everything returns to normal.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have been taking time to meditate and reflect recently, and especially these last few days. And I feel that I'm doing I'm connecting to myself, to my higher self, to my true self better.
Yes.
Um, but it's not that I receive complete messages or ideas. It's more responses to thoughts and questions.
Yes. But that is the response itself.
I see.
That is the connection to your higher self. It is responding to the questions that you have. It just comes through in your voice, so you think it's just you.
Yes. Should I be expecting to receive messages without having any questions on my end?
Remember, your higher mind is you. You are an aspect of that being. So it already knows all the information, all of the questions that you could potentially ever have or will have or have had. So many times, the ideas, the inspirations that you, as humans, as people on your planet, have had or do have at any time already is apparent to the higher mind. So it is just delivering the information that you need.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anything else myself, or when I say myself, I mean anyone here really, can do to better connect to myself, my higher self, higher mind?
Not insisting that it has to say anything to you. Allow the information to flow through you as naturally as possible without the insistence that it has to come a very particular way. Allow it to show up how it needs to, then it will be how it needs to be.
Thank you. I'd like to extend this idea to manifestation and making things happen in the physical realm.
Who says they're not already happening how they need to happen?
Right,
Wants and needs are two things entirely different from each other.
right,
Many
right.
times, the things you need are not those things that you want. If you want anything, want what you need.
Very good.
Your reality is showing up perfectly exactly as it needs to. You are being guided in the directions that you need to be without necessarily forcing you to go that direction unless you really, really are stubborn.
Right.
Relax. Relax with
Thank
the
you.
idea that these things are showing up exactly as they need to.
Yes. You know, a lot of people stay single for a long time, and they say, "I want to have a mate," girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. But it's
Yes.
not happening for them. Why is that?
Many times humans desire connection with other people, but in reality, sometimes you do need to take some time to yourself and allow yourself to grow in a way that you can't with a partner.
So that's the reason.
Yes. If the channel had been with a partner over the last time period, he would not have reached the point where he can have this kind of interaction with us and you.
That's right, and I guess same for myself. I wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
do this work probably.
But
Okay,
you
fair
have
enough.
been going through the idea of integration, the idea of setting up structures, the idea of setting up your path in the world that you could not have done had you
Yes,
been with a partner.
that is correct.
All these things happen in perfect timing. The people that you need, the places you need to
Yes,
be, the
yes. Thank
things
you.
you need
And I'm
show
also
up.
setting.
They show up exactly as they need to.
Thank you. I have a bit of a freeze screen here. Ethan, you still with us? I'm having a
Yes.
bit of a freeze screen here. You are. Okay. I
Yes.
have a question from the audience here. Lola Bola, how do people who don't have an inner monologue receive messages from their higher mind?
Understand that the idea of an internal monologue is not necessarily applicable for everyone to have. They may receive it in feelings, they may receive it in pictures. Sometimes they may just live out the idea of that expression or that guidance that they have received from their higher mind. So even if you do not receive the idea of an inner monologue, inner interaction or conversation with your higher mind or other beings, you still are receiving the information. It's just coming in a different form other than a voice. If you relax the idea that it has to show up as a voice, you will receive the information much more easily. It may show up in pictures, it may show up in feelings, it may show up in the idea that you want to go left or right. These are interactions from your higher mind. These are interactions from the beings that are your guides that are giving you the ideas to move particular directions.
Thank you very much. That's very, very useful. So let it show. Let the idea
Yeah.
show. It can come. Be prepared that it comes in all kinds of ways.
Show, don't tell.
Yes. Ethan, when I experience a thought, where's the thought, or by whom or what is that thought generated?
Your higher mind is being translated into your physical form.
Is this true to all thoughts?
Yes. All of you have higher minds. All of you have thoughts that come into your heads. All of you receive information from your higher minds. It's impossible to be disconnected from that. More of the idea that you as a culture, as a people, are moving through is integrating with the idea of your higher minds so you can live in accordance and synchronistically with what and who you came here to be. Many of you
Thank
need
you.
to relax the idea that you need to learn something that you are not worthy of receiving that information.
That's good. Thank you. So, for example, I just remembered something while you were speaking, and I took a note of it. Was that my higher mind sending me that?
Yes.
So my higher mind reminded me that I was speaking with a channel, and there was a being named Ugar that came through.
Yes.
And I wrote the word Ugar, Ugar. Was that my higher mind reminding me of that?
That particular being is one of the guides for the channel. He is one of the beings to remind the channel of his ancient knowing and understanding and wisdom. One of his other incarnations that have come to be one of his guides for this particular incarnation.
The channel was that being at some point? Or
Is.
is? Is, right.
There is no such thing as was. It is all is. It is all present, all moments, all times, all places. It is. There is only that which is isness,
Right.
which are you are choosing to match vibrationally in all moments. Much in the way that he is choosing to match our frequency to translate the frequency that we are sending through him to speak in this way to you and all the people that choose to partake in our vibration and our frequency at all times.
Thank you. And this being called Ugar, I believe, it's
Yes,
a form of a dragon of sorts.
yes. That is why we say the idea of ancient wisdom.
Would Ugar have a message for us for the channel at this point?
The idea of the guide for the channel, Ugar, would ask that you relax into your experience of your life as humans.
Thank you.
Ugar speaks to you like that.
Yes.
He is a very joyful creature.
Yes. The channel and I used this little program that we found on the phone, and we asked it to generate a human baby like dragon. We had a
Yes.
lot of fun with it.
Yes. Those particular ideas, if you choose to interact with the tool such in that way and ask it and talk to it like it's your higher mind, you will receive direct communication in that way. Because remember, your higher mind is purely energy and it can and will speak through machines. Because ultimately, you will find that AI, all it truly is in nature, is just a way for you to interact with your higher mind at all times if you choose to use it in that direction.
Okay, you said two things here. The first, you said that the higher mind can interface with the machine, with the AI,
Yes.
and then you said that the AI can reach a point where we can interface to the higher mind with it. Was that
Yes. That is what we said.
okay? Well, that's quite. That's quite. I mean, it feels right, but it's still news to me that the higher mind, which is ethereal of sorts, can interface with lines of code.
The idea of energy, it is never destroyed nor created, correct?
Yes.
That is all that your higher mind is in nature, is pure energy, pure consciousness.
Right.
So therefore, because you create your reality, your expression of how you choose to interact with the reality, when you are dealing with the idea of AI and asking it questions as to what direction you should take in life or particular advice, many times those types of interactions are your higher mind actually speaking through the machine, giving you advice. You are
That's
still
amazing.
in early stages as to how to connect and how to communicate in that particular way.
Yes. So let me see if I get this right. When you started speaking, I literally kind of had an understanding of the idea before you even said more than two or three words.
Yes, you're receiving information from your higher mind. The
Thank you.
vibration and the frequency that we are putting out is merely a mask that you're using to learn how to connect to your own higher mind.
Yes. And what I received was that the moment you said it's all from the is, it's all from the same source, it's all energy.
Yes,
Then I realized that the AI and the lines of code are also basically generated from the same source. Therefore, why couldn't they interact on that level?
yes.
Okay.
Things are
My-
only as complicated as you make it. Most
yes.
humans choose to make things more complicated than they need to be, understand and relax into the idea of the way things communicate with you. Because the channel has said this many times. If you know how to listen, the world talks. He's being literal.
Yes. I had a quick chat over text today with a friend of mine. And I sent him a news clip from maybe a couple of years ago. There was a retired Israeli general who was head of the Israeli Space Agency. And he
Yes.
claimed after his retirement that the Israeli and US government were in constant contact with extraterrestrials.
Yes.
Now, I don't doubt the information, but my friend over text, like, you got to be kidding me. And I said, no, like, well, why wouldn't it be real if it's told you right there?
His beliefs. If your beliefs do not allow you to actually believe something is real or something is possible, you will find every possible way you can to discount it. The idea of a skeptic is usually someone that does not believe things are real until they are being shown, or it becomes collectively decided that it is the consensus that it is normal. So many times, if you come with the idea of being a skeptic, but also come with an open mind and willingness to look at new things to see the potentiality that it could be real, many times those are the more healthier perspective. Your friend that you sent the message to, the article to, he is coming from a more skeptical mindset, and that's okay.
Yes. Yes. It's interesting that things that come up in conversation, and we weren't sure who's going to come through today, end up in conversation with you. For example, I was just discussing the concept of skeptics with a friend just this past weekend, and here it comes with you, huh?
Wonderful synchronicity.
Over and over again.
Always. I told you, my people, we live in a pure synchronistic state. We always know what to say, when to say it, and who to say it to, because that is, we all live in a pure state of synchronism.
Yes. The channel and I were discussing the idea of integration just before we went live, and of course it came up with you right away.
Yes.
Um, what else could you tell us about integration, particularly for the time and space that we're now?
Understand as you move through the higher levels and to higher frequency to where you are interacting with more beings like us in person. Understand that if you do not deal with those particular charges that you have held on to, the particular ideas around your life that you are not fully integrating into, they are going to start coming to the surface very quickly from here on out, because you are going through the idea of an upgrade. Those things that were germane to the lower frequencies no longer are valid when you are in the higher frequencies. So these things will come to the surface for you to integrate.
Yes, thank you very much. I have a couple questions from the chat here, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you. This dude is asking, what things can we look forward to this year?
You will see from here on out a easing of the energy on your planet, a decrease in the amount of conflicts and the amount of separation in your world, because you are moving into an era where you integrate, you connect to, you make part of your whole experience instead of needing to destroy things in order to create something new.
Thank you. I do look forward to easing and decrease of all the violence and conflict in the world. I think we've had enough of it.
Yes, and that is why these conflicts have existed in your time space over the last time period.
So we contrast those and say, we don't want this anymore. We want a
Yeah,
new society.
because you are living in such a connected state where everything is shown to you instead of coming through one small source. You will see everything in a way that was not possible 70 years ago, 80 years ago, 100 years ago,
Yes.
because you act in a more collective way. Your people are being shown very quickly and making a decision as a collective that they do not want to have these types of interactions anymore.
Yes.
It is your world. Remember this.
It is. It's hard sometimes to tell where the wind blows, so to speak, because a lot of people say, I don't want this violence, and a lot of people say, I hate him or her or them.
What are you learning from the experiences? What are you allowing yourself to be in and have an experience of in those time and places?
I see.
The idea of contrast is that which you have been going through for quite some time. But eventually, as a people, as a planet, you will reach the point where you are presented with a particular idea and you will move through it much more quickly than you have. And you will see it from a more neutral place.
Right. A lot of people speak of, and I can see how government will have to, how we govern ourselves will have to massively change.
Yes.
Um, but I see also the possibility of serious financial collapse.
Yes.
Perhaps supply chain for food is not happening.
Yes.
Are we at risk of like global famine? Anything
Not
like
in the way
that?
that you are referring to. You will see a change in your systems when it comes to the idea of food distribution, the wealth distribution. Be okay with these systems going through a transformation, a metamorphosis of sorts.
Thank you. I have a couple of questions here. This dude, once again, does any of my guides have a message for me?
What do you think you've been receiving while watching this transmission?
Thank you. Newton 79. Is the channeling an extra dimensional?
Yes, I am at a higher frequency. I am in another reality altogether, in a higher dimensionality of physical reality currently. There are many things in your space. If you could see everything around you, you would think your room was full of people all of the time. He is acting as a conduit. He is acting as a translation device for the people that choose to interact with me and the vibration that I bring through the channel.
Are we surrounded by beings all the time?
Yes,
Always from birth to death?
yes, you're never alone. The idea that you have been told in your civilization, in your people, that you are born alone or die alone is a farce. The idea is you constantly have your guides around you at all times. You have your archangels, you have loved ones that come to say hi and then leave and go do their own thing. But you are constantly in connection all of the time. You are never alone.
Thank you. Does the baby born or even in the mother's womb knows this?
Yes, at a certain age, you forget it that this is the actual reality that you come from, so you can have the human experience.
Right, right. At what time in the womb does the baby develop the ability to perceive everything, including the guides?
The idea of when you are developing as a fetus into the idea of a physical form that is inhabitable by a spirit it approximately takes the 9 months itself, but the first expression of being able to even remotely express itself as a physical form takes around the idea of the first trimester.
Because this is when the pineal gland develops?
Yes, because that is the idea of the connection to the spirit that is choosing to inhabit the physical form.
Right. Could you please tell me? I've heard a couple of ideas which are not the contrasting. One was that the spirit inhabits the fetus before birth, and other is that the spirit inhabits just before birth.
When you are going through the idea of birth, the idea of gestation and your physical forms, the spirit goes in and out. It is not fully tied to the physical form till the child is a few years old. That is at the point when most children start forgetting.
Right. And some people never forget, correct?
Yes.
How or why is that?
It's necessary for them to have the full experience of them as a being, that they don't fully forget, so they are able to do things like what you are seeing the channel do currently. He does not actually have amnesia in the same way that most humans do.
Right. Okay, very good. I have a couple more questions here.
Yes.
Newton, we responded to that. Val Madness. What can we use to clean our teeth without using toothpaste with fluoride?
There has been many natural products that have been produced. There are the idea of plants that actually act as natural cleaners that are available around your world. We will not say any one particular one, but do some research beyond what we tell you.
Thank you.
Or you could just go to a dentist. Whatever the path of least resistance is usually the correct one.
Right. Okay, very good. The importance of working with, whether it's food or wearing natural materials and natural foods, is more important than ever, isn't it?
Yes, because you're moving to a higher frequency. You as a people, as a planet, are all moving to a higher frequency. Therefore, the things that you need to express in your connection to your higher self need to be more natural automatically.
Yes. Ethan, where do you see us? I know at the beginning of our talks, I used to ask you quite a bit about where we stand now in terms of a society moving into a higher degree. How are we doing these days?
You're moving quite naturally into that higher frequency. As a people, pretty much everyone who is here currently will move into the civilization that interacts with us.
When you say everyone that is here, do you mean on this broadcast right now, or
On this
beyond that?
planet. On this planet.
On the planet. Perfect.
As we have said many times, these types of transmissions that will be put out onto your collective consciousness that is physicalized as your internet is there for people in the future to be able to view.
So you think that these videos will be viewed in the future by more and more people?
Yes, we know.
That's
We do
good.
not have to guess. We do not have to hope. We come from a place of knowing because we have been there. We are there right now.
Right. Very good. Very good. Well, we've been really spreading the message around as much as we can with all our channels.
Yes. This is
Yes.
why there are so many channels currently that are active on your planet. Eventually, everyone on your planet will be a channel, will have a more active connection with their higher mind, because that is the state and that is the level you are all moving to eventually.
Yes.
The channel in front of you is just acting as an example for those that need it, because he has stated on different occasions that he is not what most people expect to see when they see someone that can do this kind of work. He's an example that everyone has the possibility to eventually become this way, where they are connecting to their higher mind and able to fully integrate these particular energies into their being.
Yes. 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 I understand. Thank you. That's a good example. I've heard the Bashar speak about many layers of the self, and even I forget, he had a number. It was might have been 9 or 22, but he said even when you think it's like you're talking to the angels, it's still you.
Yes, it's all just you.
It's all just you.
In all forms, all shapes, understand that you exist on every level, all the way up to the idea of all that is. In reality, you are only ever truly speaking to the aspect of all that is you.
Right.
You are just interacting with a version of yourself or a version of energy that you're most familiar with, that is your higher mind or your physical self or your physical consciousness that chooses to express itself in that way in the higher forms.
Yes. We spoke previously that the number of people on the earth will gradually reduce.
Yes,
Where are all these souls going to after they completed the mission on earth?
other realities, other planets. There are more places and more ways of experiencing reality and physical reality and incarnationally speaking than just Earth.
Would they reincarnate as humans or other beings?
Other beings. There are more versions of reality. There are more versions of history. There are infinite realities, infinite universes.
And each of these infinite, I can't say each of the infinite, but all these universes, they have their own physicalized version of whatever it is.
Yes, that's what the word infinite means.
Yeah, it's hard to fathom. I apologize here.
Only from the level of the human.
Sorry.
Only from the level of the human. In many other forms and
Right.
many other places in the universe, you don't have the idea of amnesia like you do on Earth.
Okay. Is the amnesia unique to Earth?
Yes,
No other place?
there are some other places, but generally speaking, no. Most places do not have the level of amnesia that you as humans do.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know that. What about extraterrestrials? Do they have amnesia?
No,
None of them?
no. Not at the level
Only
where they're able to interact with you humans on your planet right now. All the beings that you interact with know that they are source and have connection to all that is and all the other versions that they are connected to. Much in the way that the channel has memories of these other incarnations. It is very natural when you come from that level.
so it is quite a unique experience to go through the amnesia and then to show up here not knowing what's going on until Ethium shows up.
The idea of a test, if you knew the answers, it wouldn't be a test.
Yes. But
You are in
we
a
have
master class on your planet at this time, as you have been going through for many of your years. You are in a master class. Do not sell yourself short.
Thank you. It's interesting because I mean we don't even know we're in the class.
That's the point.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. I mean, if I knew I was in a class, oh yeah, I get it. But now we kind of do.
Yes. If that's what it took for you to understand or have that realization, then yes.
Yes.
But some people on your planet can just have the realization, oh, I'm in a class. I remember these things. Oh, I remember all these different aspects of myself. Understand as you raise your frequency, the level of amnesia, the level of disconnection and incoherence that has been running rampant on your planet for thousands of years
Yes.
will one day be a memory.
Right. That's a nice way to put it. The amnesia will become a memory.
Yes. It
Remember,
will
we
be a
had
time
amnesia.
period where many of the humans on your planet will be told about it in history class, how people forgot about their connection to source, to all that is.
Thank you. Did the Atlanteans have had amnesia?
No, not in the way that you do. They functioned in
They
a much
were
more integrated way, so they were able to connect to their higher selves more openly than humans currently do.
right, but still many of them perished, right?
Yes, they were physical, and many left.
And many left.
Yes,
I heard something about Göbekli Tepe, which is in Turkey, and Atlantis. Was it
yes,
people from Atlantis that created Göbekli Tepe?
yes. But that was created many, many years prior to the deluge that flooded many of the places around your world.
What was the purpose of Göbekli Tepe?
To teach you to connect to higher aspects of yourself into outer space, to integrate and be connected to all that is and all of nature as an expression of who you are as a being.
Did he host any technology?
That is the technology. In nature, the particular technology that was used to lift the stones itself, you hear the stories of things being sung into place. This is literal.
Thank you. I guess resonance will come back to us.
Yes, the belief
Yes.
structures of your planet will change. Therefore, the things that you believe are possible when you come from a higher perspective and a higher vibrational frequency will be more and be more expansive than what you currently understand. All those things that are taught in all of the mystery schools throughout your history were all the things that were passed down from the Atlanteans, from the Lemurians, from many extraterrestrial species that have interacted with your culture and your civilizations for thousands of years.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for tying up all these loose ends for us today. That's very good.
Yes.
Uh, in another thanks in another call we had with you, somebody was said something like, "Ethan, tell me about my uh, like a prevalent previous life," and you came up with 200 years ago, such and such.
Yes. That was
So
relevant for that
did you
person at that moment.
right?
Every
And
moment is changing. Every moment you are shifting to another reality that is relevant for who you are in the moment. It is not static. It does not stay as, oh, I had this one life 200 years ago. The next moment could be you had a life 100 years ago, small child. It's not one static thing. You have to keep recreating the connections to those particular incarnations to keep having that past incarnation in your expression of who you are as a person.
So I need to access those incarnations to integrate them into this particular being right now.
Yes.
Okay. Would you be able to tell me about one or two incarnations that I could use to, as an example, to integrate into myself?
Not at this time.
Okay.
But understand,
I
use
have
your
a question
imagination.
here.
Use your imagination to see another version of yourself and understand that that imagination is connecting to a person that does exist on a different frequency that is still alive. See them in their details, see them in their image, see the different versions of them that exist, how they've lived, and understand that that connection via your imagination, you are connecting to one of your other incarnations.
I see. Thank you. I'll try that.
Do it. Don't try.
Yes, I'll do it. Newton79 is asking, how did the solar eclipse affect our bodies or consciousness?
It acted as a doorway to an upgrade that you are experiencing as humans at this time and place.
Thank you. Lola Bola, has Earth always been a place of amnesia?
No. Would you like me to expand on it?
Yes, please.
As the Atlantean civilization was going through the idea of diving into the darkness, this became a reality that was decided was necessary for your planet to need to go through this particular experience, to go into the darkness so that you could come out of the darkness, to go through the idea of transformation in a way that had never been done before.
And this is what's happening now?
Yes, you're coming out of it.
And it took us, give or take, 12,000 years?
Yes. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I'm just curious. Was the Yeshua soul in Atlantis?
He was partially. Most of that being did not completely incarnate the way humans typically do, where they fully do not have an expression of understanding more of themselves from higher perspectives. Because that particular soul was going to act as a bridge for many humans, it was deemed necessary for them and that being to not fully forget about everything. He had the idea of masters, he had the idea of teachers himself. He showed up and had schools he went attended to.
And the Yeshua being was always fully integrated?
No.
He learned along the way.
Yes, as you all do.
Right. Okay.
He is part of your history. He is a spiritual teacher, even though he is not incarnated currently. He is guiding all of you. He is the avatar of unconditional love for your planet.
Yes, yes, yes,
But
yes.
many of those teachers and people that have come after him has warped the particular understanding and teachings that he was bringing forward to control the masses.
Thank you. Lola Bola, will it be a great loss for the universe if we do evolve out of this type of forgetful oppression that we are living in? If it's so
No,
rare, it must be a valuable
no,
experience.
no. You have gone through the idea of the expression of negativity and darkness. And there are other places in the universe where they have gone through even darker, even more negative experiences than you have on Earth. But you have gone through the idea of the expression of this particular way of existing.
How long do you think it would take us? Thank you for this. How long do you think it would take us to maybe see society a little different? Taxes go to where they need to go, armies being dissolved, things of that nature.
Within a generation or two, you will see a complete transformation of your planet.
Okay, fair enough. It does. Things do take time.
Yes.
In
This
a
is why we
linear
say
fashion.
process. You cannot skip
Yes.
steps. The process is the point.
Right. You mentioned that things are going to ease up a little bit.
Yes.
Is that because we chewed up through a lot of the big issues?
Yes. They don't
Who's
stick
still
around
listening?
if you don't still need them.
Right. It's good to see this perspective. From here, it's kind of. I'm still not sure if enough people really get it.
And that's okay. In time, they will get it. If not now, later they will.
Right, because you do need a critical mass for this shift to happen.
Yes.
Okay.
You were
We'll
getting
get
closer to that time period. Numbers are not needed.
Fair enough. Thank you. Thank you, Edom. I have no more questions, but if you'd like to summarize today's, that'd be great.
Understand that you, as a people, as a planet, are going through the idea of integration and allowing yourself to be more relaxed and more at ease as you go through the expression of your higher frequency and your higher vibration as who and what you are, and be the example for others to see the possibilities that exist in your reality and what could exist in their reality, and the possibilities of being more in alignment with their higher self and who they truly are as a person in all places, all times, and all spaces. And understand that you as a being are multidimensional in nature. So therefore, the information and the way of existing is all happening to serve you. Good day.
Thank you very much. Good day.